Hey there, it's time for another income report for my Ezoic sites. This one's a little late, but there is some interesting stuff in it that I think you'll want to stick around to see. Specifically, I moved one of the sites from Ezoic to AdSense. So we're going to look at how the earnings and the RPM changed for that particular site. All right, if you're ready to go, let's get started. Okay, site number one is my site that's in the food and drink niche. I have two sites in this niche. So this is the first one. This one, in case you're new here, it had a domain name change a few months back, did a 301 redirect. Unfortunately, around that same time, we had an algorithm update. So traffic for this site has never really recovered to what it was before I made that domain name change. And it's kind of difficult to know, like, was it the change in the domain name? Was it the algorithm update? Either way, this site doesn't really earn enough for me to really worry about the why right now. So I'm just kind of like going along with business as usual here, adding content to it when I can each month. Looks like I added, 3 new articles in May. Now I was having a lot of migraines in May, so you're going to see as we go through this report that I didn't get as much done on any of these sites as I normally do. So just an FYI for that. The important thing about this site for May was that the EPMB did increase. Of course, not by as much as I would like because it was less than $1, but it is nice to see that it did increase. So overall, the total income for this site also increased. Went up to $41.84. I do have quite a few posts on this site that are promoting products on Amazon as well as some other affiliate programs. And this is one of my sites where I'm using the Lasso plugin to create those really nice looking product boxes. And ever since I added Lasso to this site, the conversions seem to have increased. So if you're not familiar with Lasso, I'll leave a review link for, when I first moved all of my things from AAWP to this down below so you can check it out. It is a little expensive for what it is, so it's probably not ideal if you aren't earning that much from your sites. But I do really like it over AAWP. So as I mentioned, I only got 3 articles up on this site for the month. Overall traffic is up a little bit. Overall earnings are up, and the EPMB did increase. If you recall, this site is also part of my Humix experiment for the month. Again, I didn't get around to getting any videos uploaded, so it's still just, no videos at all, because that's kind of what I want to see with this particular site. How much money can you make if you just, display other people's videos? So for May, I ended up making a total of 19 cents, which, it isn't terrible for not really doing anything, but it's also not like life-changing money, right? So I'm like not really certain that it's worth putting Humix videos on your site if you're not creating and uploading your own videos. That being said, the 19 cents is an increase over the previous month. So yeah, as you can see, this site did under 2,000, in terms of visits for the month, but it earned $41.84. Not great, not terrible. That's why I said I don't, it's like not a super focus for me to work on this site. I do wish I could have gotten at least 10 articles up, but hey, there's always next month, right? All right, let's go on to site number 2. Okay, site number 2 is my site that is in the broader religion and spirituality niche. This site has quite a bit of content on it now because I've been doing this AI assisted content on it since I think December of last year. That being said, I did only manage to get up 2 new articles this past month. For that, I actually switched to using Cuppa to create the articles. I do have access to the GPT-4 API. So it was, super cheap for me to create these articles. One thing I really like about Cuppa is it was designed based on Koala Writer, right? So it's a familiar interface because I have tested Koala Writer several different times. And the output tends to be pretty great. I actually prefer it over things like ZemWriter if you do have access to the API. I'll leave a link to Cuppa down below if you're not familiar with it, because you can use it with the API if you don't have access to GPT-4, but you have access, to 3 or 3.5. So I did the 2 articles. I used Cuppa for those. Then after I got those all created, I popped it into ScaleNut to do some optimizations. That seems to really be helping the articles on this site rank, so I'm going to keep that up. I may actually investigate Phrase for it, because I've recently started using Phrase through my agency for clients. So I'd really like to see how the 2 compare in a one-on-one test like that. So just like with the first site, we did see an EPMV increase with this site for the month, though again, not by much. And honestly, it was even by less than the other site. So, while I'm always happy to see an increase, I do wish it would have been a bit more. I did not actually take the time to look in analytics to see, why that increase wasn't as much. Often something like this happens because, maybe your top pages change, so you're getting more traffic to a different site that has a lower EPMB for that particular article. So I assume that that's what's going on here. So the overall income for the month from Ezoic was $10.92, and the total site income was $13.67. This site does have only one single post on it that promotes affiliate products, just with the Amazon program is what I'm using so far. This is a really hard niche to actually find products to promote. And when I have found things, they don't really, they have a low cost, so they don't pay much. So I'm still kind of like trying to work out what kind of affiliate stuff can I do on this site. And I did actually manage to find a few programs that I am going to investigate. One thing that is nice to see with this site for the month is the traffic actually managed to go up a pretty decent amount. Previous month was 118 visits a day, and then we got that up to 138. It would be great to see that continue scaling throughout the year. So this is also my other site where I'm testing Humix. This site is one where I'm actually uploading videos that I've created. However, I still haven't had time to do more than the 2 videos that I initially uploaded, because I keep having these recurring migraines that I mentioned earlier. So like I said, still just the 2 videos uploaded to Humix. They're also on YouTube, but I'll be honest with you, I didn't even check that to see how it's going because it's not going to be monetized, so it doesn't really matter right now. But in terms of Humix, the revenue that I earned from those 2 videos actually doubled compared to the previous month for a grand total of $1.04. So I don't know, can you buy a cup of coffee from McDonald's with that? I don't even know. So at this point, I'm still kind of struggling to see is this really worth the effort of putting Humix on the site? Right now I'm kind of leaning towards no, but we'll see how this goes throughout the rest of the year. Okay, site number 3 is my second site on Ezoic that is in the food and drink niche. This site's been having, a bit of struggle this year. It's got hit by some algorithm updates and things like that. And I don't really know why, because I'm actually taking my own original photos for this site. So, I'm kind of doing what Google says they want, but they're not really, showing me that's what they want based on how they're treating this particular site. That being said, traffic did go up just a small amount compared to the previous month. For this site, though, I didn't have a chance to get any new articles up for the month, so I kind of hate that. Like I said, I'm trying to get at least 10 articles up a month on each of these sites, and I just didn't get around to it for this one. We actually saw the EPMB for this site drop for the month of May, which was very surprising to me. So, like I said, I'm not really sure what's going on there. Because like I said, the traffic did go up a small amount. Now it's possible we did have a change in terms of what the top posts were for the month. Or maybe it's just some kind of weird Ezoic thing, I don't really know. That being said, the total overall income for the site did manage to go up because there are a fair number of affiliate posts on this site. I think I'm only using the Amazon program on this site right now though. So overall income, $20.33, and like I said, that was an increase. And the amount that was earned just from Ezoic was $9.92. Okay, site number 4. This one's in the tech and gaming niche. This is actually the site that I moved, from Ezoic to AdSense. If you've been here before, you know that I haven't been too happy with the RPM, EPMV, whatever you want to call it, from Ezoic for this particular site, simply because I know other people who are doing the same content I've been doing this year on this site, earning a load more money. So before I moved this site, I moved it, like I said, on April 1st off of Ezoic. I'm sorry, not April 1st, May 1st off of Ezoic onto AdSense. So there were a few hours on May 1st there where there was still Ezoic ads on the site. In those few hours, the site made 63 cents for the month. Then I got it all over to AdSense and it ended up making $39.36 just from AdSense. I have a few affiliate links on here as well from Amazon and other places. So that brought the grand total for the site up to $46.26. Now you'll notice here at the top of this slide, My EPMV in April was $1.92, which is tragic, right? But after moving into AdSense, I was getting $3.06 for the RPM. If you remember back in the previous update, my overall ad income from this site did increase by moving it to AdSense. Now, of course, I do want to take a moment here because I'm certain someone's going to leave a comment saying, oh, well, yeah, RPMs are going to go up, in May compared to April. Yes, I do realize that. But I don't think that is the only reason why the income went up on the site from ads, because the site actually had a small traffic drop in May, and it still managed to make more money. So take from that what you will. For this site in particular, I only managed to get up 4 new articles for the month, and each of those articles was optimized with ScaleNut. Okay, site number 5 is my site in the outdoors niche. I launched this one at the end of 2022 with like over 200 posts, all covering, different topic clusters and a variety of different outdoor topics. If you recall, or even if you're not, this is your first time being here and learning about this site, I launched it with all of that different type of content with those different clusters just to kind of see like what would pop, what should I focus on going forward, what does Google like, for the particular topics. The reality was Google kind of didn't know what to do with this site because the content was all over the place despite it being, in clusters. And then recently, traffic has started to pick up with the site and Google seems to kind of like know what to do with it now. So I kind of have more of a plan going forward of what type of content to focus on. And to basically illustrate that Google does know what to do with it now, traffic for this site actually almost doubled from April to May. So that is great to see. You can also see that the EPMV actually increased by a pretty reasonable amount from $5.91 in April to $7.29 in May. My total Ezoic income for the period was $16.21. There's a ton of affiliate content on this particular site. It's got Amazon, it's got REI, Backcountry, Evo, and I think a couple of other places as well. So that was kind of split between some of those. So the total income was $43.19. So we've got a similar, total earning amount as site number 1, but completely different niches and completely different EPMVs in traffic. So that's just something to notice if you are looking for a niche to go into. Kind of compare that data, because you want to pick a niche that's the most lucrative for you, right? So for this site, like some of the others, I didn't get a chance to put any new articles up on the site, but like I said, it does have well over 200 articles live on the site right now. Okay, site number 6 is my gardening site. I just added this one to Ezoic in the previous update. This is a niche that's new to me. I've actually never worked in it, primarily because I can't keep any plant alive. So I basically have no business having a gardening site in reality. But I do, so here it is. So what's great about this site is it's been growing at a pretty great pace since I started it. Comparing April to May, the traffic is up by almost 2,000 visits a month, which is great to see. Since this site's been growing so well, and I know that this is like the hot time of year for it, I really focused and prioritized on getting content up for this site over the others. So that saw me add 18 new posts to this site in May, and I did optimize all of those with ScaleNut. My May EPMV was $17.66, which was up by less than $1 compared to April's number of $16.24. Overall, that is higher than what it was making on AdSense when I added it to Ezoic, which at the time I think was just over $9, although who knows what it would be this month, right? So my total income just from Ezoic was $214.26. And on the last day of the month, I was like so antsy because the site was so close to crossing that $500, mark. And I just really wanted to hit that goal. And I am happy to say that it did manage to cross that thanks to some affiliate offers that I was promoting that people bought. So it basically ended the month with $508.71. So that is more than double what it made in the month of April. Now, I do want to point out, though, that part of the reason why this site made so much money from affiliate stuff is I managed to actually sell something that was a few $1,000s. So it brought me in quite a large commission. And here's the funniest thing about this. Personally, I hate writing buying guides. I just find them so tedious, but at the same time I know they convert really well. And so I wanted to test, like, wonder what'll happen if I, kind of use ChatGPT to help me write this buying guide, right? So what I did was I took the product information from Amazon and I had ChatGPT rewrite it in a tone that I preferred. Then I just put that product information into the post. Can you believe how shocked I was that that actually worked and someone spent thousands of dollars on a product that ChatGPT just basically rewrote the product description? But that's exactly what happened. I'm actually going to do another video on that process sometime soon here to let you know how I did that, because one, I can't believe it actually worked, and two, I want to see if any of you guys can actually replicate the success that I had, or if it was just like a fluke, right? So that's just an interesting note about this site for the month. Okay, so now let's wrap up what happened with all of these Ezoic sites for the month of May. So across all of the sites, if we look at income that just came from ads on Ezoic, that's $281.67. That's not even enough to pay my car payment, right? So, but if you were doing this like on the, like as a side hustle, like maybe nights and weekends after your day job, that would probably be a pretty okay amount for you to get started with. Now, if we compare that amount to the previous month, it was only $234.37. So while it was an increase, it was a relatively small increase across the sites. Now, if we include affiliate income and any income that was coming from AdSense, like with site number 4 that I moved, the overall amount that we're looking at that the sites brought in was $674. But keep in mind that that is primarily driven by that gardening site where I sold that product that was several $1,000s. Now, if we compare that to the previous month's total income, that was just $309.11. So we more than doubled what the sites brought in. Now, I don't expect the same to be true for June because I don't know that I can count on those ChatGPT product descriptions, to bring in another big sale like that. But maybe it will, who knows? Now, across the sites, most of them saw an increase in the EPMV for May. And that was completely expected. What was not expected was the drop that we saw with one site, but who knows what's going on there. For the first time in a long time, not all of the sites got fresh content updated on them, but those that did get content, that content was optimized with ScaleNut. Sites number 1 and sites number 2 do have Humix ads running on them, but I didn't get any new videos up on Humix for site number 2, which is the only one of the two that is actually displaying videos that I've created. And just a quick reminder, site number 4 did get removed from Ezoic on May 1st, and I moved it over to AdSense. Now, I did give you the update of showing you how much it earned from AdSense. I'm probably not going to include this site in any future updates. Maybe closer to the end of the year, I'll basically do a recap of how things went after I moved it, but it doesn't really make sense for me to keep doing it, as an update in these videos since it's no longer on Ezoic. But I did want to show you what happened when I did move it, from Ezoic to AdSense, because, most of the time when you move a site from AdSense to Ezoic, you see, a pretty good increase in your income. If you go back to the previous video, you'll see that that is exactly what happened with my gardening site when I moved it. However, with this particular site, when I moved it to AdSense, it started making more money despite a traffic drop. So I'm not sure why that happened, but it did. If you have any questions for me about these sites, go ahead and drop it in the comments and I'll try to answer it the best that I can. If you want a few more screenshots and more details, I actually wrote an update for all of these sites on my Skip Blast website. I'll drop that link to that post for you down below.